Good morning. One of the things that lawyers need to remember is that we often use language that no one else understands. It's become clear to me over the last couple of weeks that one word that people with my specialism use very frequently, which is misunderstood, is the word restructuring. And just for a couple of moments, I want to think about what restructuring is when it relates to a business, to a company. Sometimes when we speak about restructuring, we are speaking about operational restructuring of a company. That is, changes a business may make to the way it operates so that it's either more prosperous or so that it avoids financial distress. Quite often, operational restructuring might not need any external advisors involved unless actually they can add some value. Sometimes it will need external advisors if there are legal issues that arise, for example, because of changes to employment contracts or other employment law implications. In the current economic climate, though, very often when the word restructuring is used, it is referring to financial restructuring. That is, a business as it is at the moment is not viable without being changed in some way. Certain parts or the whole of the business will have to change or to survive, or perhaps the actual corporate legal entity that exists at the moment cannot survive even if the business is to prosper and some value is to be preserved for creditors and other stakeholders. Now, it's going to be vital where there are financial restructuring issues that there is expert legal advice. That's because there are not only legal implications for the directors who make the decisions, but there also needs to be advice about the different structures that are available to affect any restructuring. Let me be very clear. Restructuring is not just another word for insolvency. A good restructuring advisor needs to understand insolvency thoroughly, and that's because very often the alternative to a successful restructure will be an insolvency of the company. Restructuring might include an insolvent procedure of some type, but they're not the same. And so you need, as a director, an advisor who not only understands restructuring but understands insolvency. On the other hand, you don't want an advisor that simply suggests an insolvent procedure rather than thinking through or maybe understanding themselves what options there are to actually restructure and change the shape of your company's structures and change its arrangement with creditors so that the company can survive. These are very difficult times for lots of businesses, but let me give you one word of encouragement. Because of the tools that the government has put in place, and because of the economic climate that exists, if you actually have a viable business, a business that actually works and that can make profit and it can generate cash underneath the financial distress, there has never been a better time to actually restructure your business. Creditors are more realistic than they have ever been before. Major creditors such as banks are actually working cooperatively to try to achieve successful outcomes for businesses and to save jobs. Make sure whoever advises you, and there are many good restructuring advisors in Scotland, and there are many excellent insolvency practitioners who will need to be involved in the process too. But whoever advises you, make sure they add value. Make sure they don't just rush to a liquidation or other terminal insolvent procedure. Make sure they understand what can be achieved and options are checked thoroughly so you know you're being advised on the best course of action for your business.